So today my video is going to be a little different, as you can tell by the thumbnail. Not something I normally do on my channel. I normally don't jump on the trendy memes and like the trendy like philosophical movements and stuff like that, but this penguin really said something to me. And it said something to a lot of other people too, which is why I wanted to talk about it just briefly. For those of you who don't know, there's this documentary that came out quite some time ago, but it's just getting some relevance now. And they were documenting all these penguins. And one of the penguins, he just started running towards the mountains. And now what this really means is that the penguin was insane. That's why they pretty much broke it down. But how lots of people have been interpreting it is that the penguin represents something more than just running off to the mountains. The penguin represents, something deep within all of us that we all want to do. In the documentary, the guy's talking about, he says the penguin, even if they caught the penguin and brought it back to its colony, it would immediately head for the mountains. It would ignore the feeding grounds, it would ignore the colony, and it would head straight towards the mountains, towards certain death. And then he ends, the trending clip going around, it ends by saying, but why? Why did the penguin go towards the mountains? And this is really something that struck my generation, Gen Z, because I think we all feel a little lost, and we all feel like most of us are just at the feeding colony, or at the feeding grounds, or just kind of waddling around in the colony. And the penguin running towards the mountain, it represents, not doing what is orthodox, not seeking comfort. The colony, I think, represents orthodox, and the feeding grounds represents comfort. And the penguin chooses to ignore both of those, and it runs towards the mountain, towards something bigger than itself, something for itself. The penguin's doing it for itself, and it doesn't care if it means death, because the penguin would rather die than conform or live a normal life. The penguin would rather die young and attempting to achieve something beautiful and something that it wanted to achieve than to die an old, long-lived life, living an ordinary life. And obviously the penguin wasn't thinking that. When everything I just said, that's us. We're the penguin. That's deep down what all of us want and desire. There's a Friedrich Nietzsche, I think I say his last name, Nietzsche, I think that's how you pronounce it, Friedrich Nietzsche. This is called the Nietzsche penguin. And I have the quote over here. I'm going to read it real quick because I couldn't remember it. I'm retarded, excuse me. But it's, I know of no better life purpose than to perish attempting the great and impossible. So basically the whole thing represents, basically the lesson I'm trying to put through this video is that to die attempting the great and impossible, to die trying to do something incredible and beyond yourself, something that's deemed impossible, is far better than not doing it and living, basically. And I know that sounds a little extreme, but that's really speaking to a certain group of people out there, a certain generation, because we all feel a little lost. We all feel a little lost in the colony, and deep down we all want to be that penguin running towards the mountain. And we all should run towards the mountains. We should say, screw the orthodox, screw the society they built where we work in offices or in businesses and the people above us make millions while we only make, tens of thousands of dollars. Screw doing what your parents want or what society wants. Screw going to college for 4 years and then work until you're 65. The career I just got into, that it won't be for very super long, but I think I'm passionate about it right now. But so many people are just drooling over this pension you get when you're, after you've served 35, 40 years in the career. It's like, oh yeah, let me just spend my entire life so I can get this juicy pension and do nothing until I die. That's one reason why I've identified with this trendy penguin, the Nietzsche penguin, is because I don't want to spend my entire life working just for some pension or 401k, just so I can retire at the age of 55, 60, 65. And a lot of other people don't either, which is why this Nietzsche penguin really speaks to us. Hope that breaks it down a little bit. Again, not what I normally do, but I just wanted to try and talk about it because I will admit I found it encouraging and inspirational. So there's my 2 cents, and that's why I think it means so much to everybody.